Hi guys.
Welcome back to the Consistency Code podcast. Back at you with another fire episode incoming. Gonna be diving into drum roll skinny culture. Skinny culture is making a comeback, and we need to address it. It needs to be talked about.
A hard addressing session.
Yeah, because we should not be chasing skinny. We should be chasing strong, feminine, not be like super hyper focused on our bodies 24/7. And you know what? The rise of SkinnyTok on social media is not helping.
It's
So
not. It's
yeah, we're gonna dive into how the heck did we end up back here? Because obviously it was quite popular
yeah.
era, I would say, what, 10, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
and now it's making a comeback. And I mean, there's the opposite end of the spectrum too. So yeah, we're gonna dive into our opinions, what we think, body positivity.
Yeah.
Well, let's get right into it. Any updates from you, Rutha?
From last time we talked, not really. We're just keeping it going. The vibes are so good
Hmm.
that, nothing to change. Don't fix it if it ain't broke, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Let's say that louder. No need to fix it if it ain't broke. We don't need to be slashing your calories. If you're losing weight, no need to like make any adjustments. No need to increase your cardio. If everything's working for you, just keep riding the wave.
And you? Tell us. Anything new?
No updates
Anything
from
old?
yeah, I'm about to get back into like 2 weeks of travel,
Mm.
which is gonna be a lot, but definitely excited for it. Got my friend's bachelorette this weekend, and then a
Yeah.
little Kelowna trip, and then back to see my family. So yeah, summertime's been busy. I feel like I've been like away from my house more than I've actually been at home in Calgary.
Yeah.
We love it. We love it. But yeah, okay, let's get into
Mm.
it. How did we get here? Like history of like body ideals or
Mm.
whatever you want to call it. I feel like body size like tends to go in cycles and like you think back to like the 19 late I hate to say 1900s. That's freaking weird. What is that? 90s.
The 90s.
The 90s, I would say, I mean, that was before my time. I'm a 2000 baby, but
Yes, ma'am.
looking back to the 90s, I would say that was like kind of twiggy hair, what did they call it? Heroin chic era.
Heroin chic, yeah. Like recently, like in the 2000s, it was very much like Kate Moss era, like the skinniness, like whatever, like runway, you know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah,
heroin chic
low
was a good
rise
one.
jeans. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we entered the Kardashian curve era.
The BBLs, yeah.
Yep, yep,
I
exactly.
call that Miami chic now.
Miami, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you think you're a 10, guys, like go to Miami. If you don't have a BBL, you're actually a -3. Like let's just so it's
It's
yeah,
actually insane. They are everywhere. They are
it's
everywhere.
everywhere.
And
Yeah.
you can tell, by the way. You can
Oh,
tell.
100%.
Yeah. We're out here
Yeah.
building real glutes, though.
Exactly.
And now, like, the pendulum is swinging back hard towards the extreme thinness, which is not what we want to see. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
misleading videos on social media these days. So,
Yeah.
yeah, don't fall into the trap because it is so bad for
Yeah.
mental health. It's so bad like for nutrition habits. And I feel like half of it maybe comes down to trying to fit like style trends as well, like low-rise jeans are
100%.
making a comeback, but low-rise jeans are most flattering on, flat, I hate to say it, but flat stomachs. And so people are like chasing that
Hmm.
body ideal to fit into these fashion trends too. So it's like
Yeah.
a, yeah, slippery slope. But I do also want to talk about what triggered the current wave of this skinny epidemic.
Epidemic. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I would say Ozempic and like the whole GLP-1 revolution is making dramatic weight loss like way more accessible to celebrities and to wealthy people who, can afford those drugs. So that in itself is becoming misleading to other people who are seeing, all of these celebrities like losing a bunch of weight super rapidly, entering their skinny era, and now everybody else and their mom is also trying to match that trend, right? Yeah, and that then paired with like the Y2K fashion trend making a comeback. which, like I said, aesthetically demands a very, very slim figure. And
Yeah,
then,
which not, yeah.
yeah, and then Instagram algorithm, TikTok algorithm is just pushing and amplifying
Mhm.
all of it. So it's like, yeah, this slippery slope. But
There's always like two sides to like what Bella said with this like skinny coming back, and then we also do have like the complete opposite of it where it's like the I like to say the propaganda of like body positivity, and like some people will have their own opinions on this, but I think we've switched the true meaning of body positivity because realistically nobody should hate their body, nobody should be unhappy in their body, but at the same time it's easier said than done, right? Because everybody has their own insecurities, like what they want to change, whatever. And also like growth is always good, to always look forward to like bettering oneself, but having the complete opposite of to kind of what's it called, to kind of get rid of skinny talk, we have the body positivity, which is like where people are marketing fat is okay and fat is good, which I understand the message that's trying to be sent here, where it's we cannot keep following like society standards of just like like skinny skinny skinny, but at the same time we've lost the plot where I think we've also missed the mark on what happens to just being healthy. Being healthy is also a really big thing, but how do we measure being healthy? We can't use the BMI scale, like whatever, because a lot of bodybuilders, if like males specifically, are technically obese then on that scale because of just how heavy they are and how much muscle they're holding. So we can't read that. But I think with saying don't let clothes or the culture changing measure your health is also really poor message, because we can realistically measure health and you can see health in physique wise, not internally, because somebody could be a the standard and they're like like a size like whatever, because that's like society pushes like a size 2 to 4, maybe 0, but inside they could have a lot of issues, right? But also being on the other scale, being morbidly obese is not health.
exactly.
Yeah.
And exactly. And I think the bottom line is to live in a body that you are genuinely happy and confident and healthy in. And when I
Hmm.
say healthy, I mean like your health markers,
Hmm.
your blood work is in a healthy range. So
Correct.
obviously if you have too much body fat on you, your health markers are probably not going to be in that healthy range. You're probably going to be close to the pre-diabetic, if not T2 diabetic range, which is obviously unhealthy. That's not what we want. Then on the other end of the spectrum, if you're too skinny, your sex hormones are going to be plummeted, your thyroid might be plummeted. Also not healthy. We have two ends of
Yes.
the spectrum here, so I think the most important thing is to focus on creating a body for yourself and a physique that you look in the mirror and you are like genuinely happy with, and where
Exactly.
your clothes fit you the way that they want to, and where you're not constantly like obsessing over your body. And that's another thing, and something that we struggle with as bodybuilders a lot, because bodybuilding of course is like the whole premise of it is chasing a certain physique goal, and as a result we become overly obsessed with how we look. And regardless of the season, like we are never per se content. At least
Hmm.
for me. Like when I'm prepping, I either don't feel lean enough or I feel too lean and too skinny and lacking curves. And then in the off season, it's like I wish I was a little bit more shredded. I wish I had more lines. Like, I wish I had more definition. I feel fat. Like, it's like you wake up every morning and you never know what to expect, right? You could be feeling
Yeah.
too fat. You could be feeling too small. You could be feeling too thick, too bulky.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to find that like happy medium, which is something I am working on myself as a
Yeah.
bodybuilder, is like not to be so obsessed with how I look every single day. And so, yeah, something I'm actually going to try to stop doing is weighing myself every day, because I think weighing myself every single day is not helping, because you wake up, you look at the number on the scale, and then that
Mhm.
depicts literally your entire feeling for the day. If the scale's up 2 pounds for absolutely no reason, you're like, what the hell? You
Yeah.
then mentally like feel like you've gained fat even though
Hmm.
you haven't.
No, that's for sure. That's a really good point. And obviously it benefits some and it doesn't benefit others. And obviously like always knowing what you weigh in the back of your head will always pop up because right? So always knowing is also like not the best. You don't always need to know everything. So
Yeah.
there's that. But then we have back to what we were saying, the skinny talk and mixed with just social media, we have the algorithm of either TikTok or Instagram being a weapon. Okay, so before in the 2000s, early 2000s, or late even, whatever, it was size zero models. It was, we want to look like so and so and like whatever, runway models. And that was one thing. But now it's steering to a different direction of just something called SkinnyTok. That's a really big thing that even like TikTok carries onto Instagram heavily that people don't really like pay attention to, where it's just creators are positioning themselves as leaders of just making these videos and sending messaging about being skinny, a skinny community, which is so odd to me and just so bizarre because it's just such a taboo, like it's such a dystopian thing. Number one, like how to be skinny, like that's such, we're going backwards instead of forwards. And also we need to understand that there's a really big financial incentive here with our algorithm, okay? Because there's always something to be sold. Always. It just, if you pay attention to every video, there's something to be sold.
Yep. And why is it that we are always chasing the smallest version of ourselves? And why is it that the smallest version of ourselves, the leanest, the most shredded, the skinniest, whatever you want to call it, is always the version that drives the most engagement on
Mhm.
social media? And it's like you get this like dopamine hit, this sense of satisfaction when your content does well, of course, and then when it doesn't do as well, when you like gain a little bit of weight, which is also something that I've noticed bodybuilders are trying to change the stigma where
Mhm.
like lots of bodybuilders with bigger platforms have been talking about how your off-season body is more so like your normal body, right? And
Your
that's
regular body, yeah.
promoted. Your prep body is not your normal body, yet our prep bodies always get more traction because it's like, oh my God, look, she's so shredded. Like, it's abnormal, so it gets more engagement. But why? It seems backwards. It should be that or our content in our off with our off-season bodies should also be getting that same amount of engagement. And
Exactly, yeah.
the fact that it's not then makes us feel a little bit more insecure as a result,
Yeah.
even subconsciously. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's like the content that makes women feel inadequate about their bodies is driving clicks, saves, and watch time more than content that makes us feel good.
Yeah.
And it's
You
like,
have to consume.
sorry, what were you gonna say?
Said we have to consume very, like, we obviously don't choose what we consume on social media, which sucks, right? Because it's just in your face 24/7. Like I scroll and there's some things that I'm like, what brick did I lay for my algorithm to come, like for this to come up to me? Like, you know what I mean? And also I like what you said of chasing our smallest bodies. And it's like when, like, if me and you both, because like we've been in our smallest and then our biggest whatever, but when I'm cutting or I'm lean, like my strength is I'm fighting to keep my strength. I'm fighting to just not feel tired or fatigued. And it's just like that's not, it really like lets you know like that's not what your body's supposed to be doing. Constantly being tired and just like weak. Like I can't stand forcing myself to keep a certain number so that I don't lose my muscle. You know what I mean? I love going in, lifting heavy, and I'm like, I'm glad that I did this because I can do it. So it's a very odd back and forth.
Yeah. And when we are chasing that smallest version of ourselves, we're hungry all the time. Like Rutha just said, like we are weaker in the gym, our lifts don't feel as good. We're not able to show
Mm,
up with the same energy for friends, for family, to social gatherings. Like you kind of become a hermit. And
exactly.
that
Mm,
none of that is normal. You should not be, waking up starving, going to bed starving, starving in between meals, feeling like nothing is filling you up, feeling like you're
yeah.
never satiated. Your cravings should not be through the roof. Like
Hmm.
if your cycle's irregular, like that is not normal. And these are all signs that you are underfueling yourself. And I would say with like the rise of GLP-1s, Ozempic,
Yeah.
Retta, GLP-3s, like whatever you want to call it, like the rise of these weight loss drugs has made extreme weight loss achievable for people who previously were not able to get there and not able to maintain it. And it's almost like this cheat code. And, people are utilizing these drugs without having any kind of training, exercise, nutrition regime in place. And so, like, it's really just normalizing this body standard that in many cases is purely pharmaceutical rather than natural, which is like so messed up to think about.
Mm.
And a lot of people haven't really caught up with that reality. And it's kind of sad to see how many people are clearly hopping on these drugs without even trying the natural route first. They just say, oh, it's too hard for me, it's never worked, and let me just take this, inject myself with this drug rather than trying the
Mhm.
basics.
100%. Obviously, there's some that like what I'm not like I'm obviously against just like the general public just having so much access to Ozempic, Manjaro, whatever the case is. But for those who want to take any form of a GLP, but then afterwards maintain and like they want to build muscle, like whatever, and just grow from there, that's one thing. Because for some, it's genuinely like a daily battle living in their body, and that might be like, you know what, like I can't try any further. I'm gonna utilize this. That's fine. But then if we're just taking it and just letting our body deteriorate, that's awful. That's awful. Right, which is what we see a lot of because when companies are selling you these GLPs, they don't say anything about, hey, by the way, you might not be able to eat at all like half the time, so like make sure you get all your n- nutrients in and make sure to work out. No, they don't. It's
A
a few
recipe for
hundred.
disaster. Like, yeah, because you're taking, people are hopping on these drugs to
Mhm.
achieve a certain physique goal, and in the, like, over the process, you're under eating, which is then causing you long-term health problems because you're lacking essential micronutrients and literally fuel for your body. And so, yeah, by the end of it, you've got thyroid issues, you've got like your metabolism is down regulated,
Yeah,
you're probably not going to be feeling good mentally, you've probably got digestive issues. Like, it's just this really, really negative domino effect. And
yeah,
is there a time and a place for GLPs? Yeah, absolutely. But I do believe that they are too accessible. And
exactly.
if you're hopping on them just to achieve like this certain physique goal, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, you really, really need to have a pre-existing training and nutrition plan in place. You should be working with a professional who's able to give you the right guidance and support
Hmm.
rather than using them as a cheat code.
And this brings us to a really good topic because I have a question for you. Because from our, competitor and coach angle, because Bella is both a competitor and a coach. I'm just a competitor, so we get like, I see two views, and it's like I want to know with you coaching and you also like living within, you know what I mean, like what you're preaching. What does the return of skinny culture truly mean for you within your coaching first? And then I want to talk about within like us competing because we do have to get on stage and have a panel of judges, male and female, judge how we look and tell us like what's good and what's bad, because yes, there is a good and bad within your feedback, as much as like, hey, like don't let others tell you like what's good and bad about your body. We are in a sport where we are there for that, you know what I mean? So I want to hear your perspective in your coaching and then competing as well.
Well, I'll start with competing. I
Hmm.
don't think skinny talk necessarily, or the rise of skinny talk, skinny culture is necessarily affecting what I bring to the stage,
Hmm.
only because bodybuilding in every division has like very specific criteria set out, right?
Hmm.
We're not striving when we're prepping, we're not striving to be as skinny as possible. We're striving to achieve a certain level of conditioning that matches the criteria of the division you're competing in. And we're striving
Hmm.
for a certain look to match that criteria. So as bikini competitors, we're striving to achieve like our best bikini physique, our best physique that fits bikini the best. And yes, there are conditioning standards that need to be met. We do have to achieve a certain level of leanness
Hmm.
for the stage, but we're not striving to be skinny per se, right? We're striving to be as
Exactly.
muscular as possible to fit the bikini division while achieving the level of leanness that's required. Like,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
will even say, like, we don't want to be skinny. We don't want to feel
No.
skinny when we're lean,
No.
right? We want to feel,
And that's a really good topic because I saw a comment. So somebody posted their like stage shots, like what? No, they posted something and they were just lean, and you could tell that they were in a prep or they just finished a show. And somebody in the comments said, I was following you to like because I was like on my own like fitness journey to like get skinnier, whatever. But even like the bikini competitors have like delts and like they have biceps and like quads and like I don't want that bulky look. Like I just want to become skinny, so I don't know like whatever. And I'm like, people are still thinking that we go on stage hoping that we're the skinniest, and it's just like that's not the case. That's not the case at all. And also I would rather chase leanness for a show than chase being skinny, because to be on stage in proper conditioning with the right amount of muscle, you have to eat in your off season. You have to lift heavy. You have to get bigger to get the result that you want. So if it had to be the both, I'm chasing being lean for a show rather than skinny for a lifestyle.
And the judges, 100% of the judges will never award a skinny look either. If
No,
you are
no,
on stage and you look skinny rather than muscular, you will
hmm,
not be awarded for that. And there even comes a
exactly.
point of too much conditioning. If you look overly conditioned, if you're stringy, then that also will not be awarded. And that's just a sign that you do need to go build more muscle. And yeah, in
Mhm.
the off season, we have to eat like freaking animals. Like, arguably, sometimes the off season is harder than prep when you are stuffing down those meals, even though you're not hungry, but
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
yeah, you gotta eat in order to build that muscle and recover from your workouts because training is
Hmm.
that much more intense in the off season, of course. Like, yeah, it's arguably harder than being hungry in a prep. And it's something, I feel like it's a feeling that you don't really truly understand until you've been there in that
Hmm.
position. And some people don't have to eat that much in order to grow. A lot of us do. And it sucks equally as much as feeling hungry in a prep. But yeah, I wouldn't say that the rise of the skinny era, skinny culture has really
Yeah.
like affected bodybuilding, maybe only in the sense that like it is more taboo to like gain body fat in our off seasons, and we feel thicker, we feel more fat in our off seasons, but that also just comes down to like being at one point the leanest version of ourselves, because even in the off season we are still lean compared to the average person, which we always forget as bodybuilders.
Yeah, but also the whole thing of I will never ever, like, you will not see me following a, I don't care how high level competitor you are, who's selling the dream of stay within 5 to 6 pounds of stage weight in your off season.
The only person I know who does that is Ashley Kaltwasser, like the goat of bikini bodybuilders.
Yeah, I behind that one. I'm so sorry, because other competitors do not have the amount of muscle that you do, or muscle density or maturity, which might be
It
the
is
same thing,
tough
but
to
you
gain
can't
weight
sell that.
season. Yeah,
You have to be careful with what you say. Like, I understand it's your thing, but saying, I think wording is very important in this space, because saying what works for me is this, and I like to do this. Okay, cool. Rather than, I always recommend doing this. You can't recommend that to the general public of competitors.
no, that is not a recommendation. Sure, it works for her, but
I
for
would die.
99% of competitors, like we need body fat on us.
5 to 6. If I'm 5'9", Bella, and staying at 125, 26, oh, you'd think I'm sick.
Exactly, exactly. People do think I'm sick when I'm walking around stage lean.
Exactly. Like, you can't keep that every single day. That's
No,
crazy and
no.
unhealthy.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also, you can't grow. You do need a certain amount of body fat on you to improve muscle growth. And people do not understand that aspect either.
exactly, exactly. Like, I would argue that immediately post show, you are able to gain muscle when you have that extra insulin sensitivity. If you follow your reverse diet to a T and maintain that insulin sensitivity while bringing calories up, then that is the most prime ideal time to put on muscle. But generally speaking, for a long-term muscle building phase, you need to put on body fat and you need to be eating in a slight surplus in order to grow. And it is uncomfortable going through that process, but that is the whole premise of the sport. It's not, body shredding. This is bodybuilding. But
Thank you.
yeah, we're deviating a little bit from the topic of
Sorry, sorry.
culture. But yeah, no, that was important and needed to be said because it's hard as bodybuilders, even experienced bodybuilders. Like we still go through that mental challenge of
Yeah,
being happy with our body with more body fat on it.
yeah. But tell me about your coaching side as well, because I feel like that would be a little bit different.
So for the coaching side, like I would say generally majority of the time my clients are chasing a lean look, or as social media likes to call it, toned outside of the bodybuilding world.
Yeah.
people love to say that they want to look toned, right?
Hmm.
Essentially, what that means is just being lean, having muscle on you, and lower body fat. And yeah, I would say most people who sign up for coaching are chasing that look rather than just being skinny. You know, they
Yeah.
want to have muscle. They understand that having muscle is healthy,
Hmm.
especially as you get older. Long-term health, having muscle on you is really, really, really beneficial. And a lot of people understand that. So yeah, they're chasing more of that lean look rather than skinny. So I personally have not, I don't think I would say I've even worked with a single client who's chasing skinny. I would say also that that's more prominent in the younger generation. And I do tend to work with women who are in their 30s, 40s rather than, younger girls. So yeah, I haven't had to deal with that myself, thankfully. But if somebody ever did come to me and say that they wanted that, I would try to steer them in a
The
different
right
direction.
direction.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think it's very obviously I hear about it a lot too, which I understand at the same time just because of what you're being sold. And also, if you're not a bodybuilder, I feel like you have to go out of your way to, or into fitness that deeply, you have to go out of your way to educate yourself. But there's so much information out there that when you come to a coach, like if I inquired with you and I was new, that would be the perfect time for me to learn what the difference is. So at least the first step is, reaching out to a coach and trying to get the goal that you want, but then understanding the full concept will get you what you dreamed of, but better, So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, totally. And on that note, I think one of the most positive things that you do get out of working with a coach too is truly understanding how much food you do need to
Oh,
fuel
yeah.
yourself properly and to build the physique that you actually want. Like that is one thing that does overlap from the skinny culture trend is eating less and less and less. Everybody thinks in order to achieve even what they call a toned look, a lean look, that you have to eat less. And it's the opposite because the longer you go eating less, which is what we talked about in last week's episode,
Hmm.
the more downregulated your metabolism and your thyroid is going to become. Your body's going to adapt to that, and you're actually going to end up looking thicker, looking I
Yeah.
hate to say fatter, but you're gonna move in the wrong direction and the
Yeah.
opposite direction of where you want to go if you do end up just slamming your calories and trying to stay there for a long period of time. Like food is fuel, and in order to build muscle, you need to eat. In order to even be lean, like you gotta eat. Like bodybuilders are always, always, always eating more than
Hmm.
anybody ever realizes. And it's funny, like when I post my videos on social media, more often than not, like I get people saying like, go eat a burger and fries, like you're so
Hmm.
skinny, you're so small, like you need to eat. And it's funny
Oh,
because
and they're arguing, by the way.
they're
They're arguing.
keyboard warriors. And it's so ironic because I can guarantee you almost 100% of the time I am eating more than they are
Hmm.
in a day, which is just hilarious. But yeah, that is like the one overlap I would say from skinny culture. Now that we're discussing it, is that people think you need to eat less in order to achieve the physique, which is the opposite. I can guarantee you need to eat more. Like all of my clients, when they first start with me, they're like, "Oh my God, this is so much food." I'm like, "Girl, just you wait. Like you're gonna be
You wait a
hungry.
few weeks. I got you.
Yeah, you're gonna be wishing you had more food. So
Yeah.
enjoy
And
the
how cool is it to say like, or is it just me like, oh my gosh, I can eat so much and not, gain so much weight and I'm still achieving my goals. I would rather like have the power to eat a
one of my
lot.
biggest flexes. I swear.
Exactly.
I swear. I love it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, being able to say that you are eating well over 2,000 calories a day and, still holding a lean physique, muscular physique is, yeah, one of the coolest
Yeah.
things ever because everybody expects us to be eating like sub 1,500 calories for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was even messaging a girl this morning who was inquiring about prep coaching and bodybuilding and but currently doesn't have a regular cycle.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, like, what is your nutrition like? She's like, oh, I'm not even tracking my food. Like, my old coach told me just to stop tracking and my body will regulate. And I'm just eating what feels good, eating like balanced plates. I'm like, okay, I can tell you right now before you even tell me what you're eating that you're under eating. And that is why your cycle has not returned. Like, we need as females to be eating adequate, healthy fats to support our hormones and also brain function. We need to be
Hmm.
eating enough carbs also to support our hormones and our energy levels and our lifts. And in order to make progress, you are not going to grow if you're not eating enough carbs. Those are your body's primary source of energy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if you think you're eating enough, I can guarantee you, you are probably not. Even if like you feel like
Mhm.
you're not hungry for more, that's just because your appetite has become down regulated. Your appetite has adjusted to that lower caloric intake.
Exactly. Those are all good. I love those. And then for, we visited this earlier, for our last portion here, we're going to get into something a little bit controversial, but it's a real topic. And obviously, there's, I don't know if you're on the side of TikTok, but just like so much back and forth with the body positivity movement. And I just want to talk about, did it fail? You know what I mean? From where it originally started and what was the point of it to now and what it has changed to, because a lot of things do grow and change and people do add certain things and then it just like gets bigger and bigger and then it's this whole other thing, right? When the body positivity movement was created in around 2010, whatever the date might be, doesn't matter, it was created. It shifted a lot of things for, companies having bigger sizes, inclusivity, like whatever the case might be. It was just more about representation for everybody else, just so we don't have societal pressures for everybody that we need to look a certain way. But I think we've also now, years and years later, we've switched the complete opposite way where I'm gonna throw something out there at the wall and see if it sticks. I think we've changed the whole inclusivity matter into wanting to make everybody unhealthy.
Yeah. I have some hot takes on this, and
Please start. Please do.
I think, body oh my gosh, inclusivity,
Inclusivity.
body
Yeah.
inclusive
One more time.
inclusive sizing, having a wide range of models to represent all body shapes and sizes. That's one thing. That's great, right? If you are a bigger woman and you want to see how clothes fit on somebody your size, then it's great for brands to have models of all sizes. However, this should not be a reason to be promoting being fat and having larger sizes. Um,
Exactly.
yes, have models to represent those sizes, but it should not be an excuse to accept and be promoting being
Exactly.
larger. Because at the end of the day, is that healthy? No.
Yeah.
Is anybody like genuinely confident and happy in that body size? No. Maybe the odd person. And girl, slay. Freaking love that for you if you are. Go rock that. But like ultimately, like body positivity should not be an excuse to just settle for being overweight. Like
Yeah. Yeah. That's no,
that
that's
might be a hot
how
take.
you worded it was beautiful because you have representation. I don't think we should be
Yeah.
I don't think it's right for any of us to judge others and say we're not gonna, have basic like clothes the basic need, like clothes that don't fit you because you're fat. Like I think that's awful and it's good to have inclusive sizes. Like people need clothes done. Like who are you to, force weight loss on a person by taking away certain sizes? But then, if you have 1x, 2x, why are we pushing for 6x? Mm.
I have a question for you. How do you feel about some overweight people claiming that they should only have to pay for one airplane seat even though they are spilling over into the second seat? Have you heard about this?
Your wording just is. I love it. No, I've definitely heard about it, and I'm so sorry, but obviously, like there are medical reasons why somebody can be obese. Cool. Regardless, unfortunately, you're paying for seats, and it should not be an argument like where I should only have to pay for one because I'm one person. We understand that, but we have to think logically. Like, let's take the feelings out of it, and logically, are you or are you not taking two seats? If you are, you're paying for it, and it's just logic now, and it's the same thing like with the seatbelt extenders, where like some planes don't hold seatbelt extenders. Yeah, unfortunately, hmm, let me what I'm gonna say. Give me a second here. Unfortunately,
Spill. It's okay.
seatbelt seatbelt extenders. Buy your own. I'm just gonna leave it there. Buy your own seatbelt extender and bring it because we're making problems. Like we're making and that's the thing. Perfect. We're making our life an inconvenience for everybody else. And that's where the problem starts happening. If you want to do something that's fair, that's okay. But let's be logical with certain things. You can't fit into a seat, that's a problem.
That is where it truly has become a problem. If your weight and body size is then becoming somebody else's problem, then
Hmm.
that's not fair.
No.
And that should be a wake up call that, okay, maybe I do need to lose some weight. Like maybe this is like a little bit too far. And
Yeah.
at that point, also, I can guarantee you that your blood work is not good. Your thyroid is not good. Your overall
Oh,
health.
question for you. Question for you. I think you for sure heard this before. Have you heard of the what was it? So I'm healthy. I'm healthy. Yes, I'm fat and you see that I'm like, like obese or whatever, but I'm healthy and you cannot tell me what's healthy or not because I can go for walks just like you. I can do this, I can do this, so I'm healthy. So don't tell me that I'm not healthy. Like that whole conversation there. And like my size doesn't give you the right to say that I'm not healthy.
Well, I would like to see your blood work and then we can talk again.
We could talk again. Yeah.
But okay, okay, sure, you can go for a walk. I would hope that you can go for a walk. But I think bottom line, the internal markers are what's going to actually depict whether you are healthy or not. What about your cardiovascular, your VO2 max testing? Like, how long are you able to go for a walk for and maintain a higher heart rate and have a conversation?
I think forget the blood work. I don't even want to see that, honestly. It's like you're not going to gaslight me in my eyes. And it's also
I think at that
like,
point, you're trying to gaslight yourself, to be honest.
yeah, and it's like, who are you trying to like, And the thing is, like, I'm not gonna come to you and say like you're not healthy, but if you ask me, it's just like a common sense thing. If you're 5'5", your heart cannot, your heart is not supposed to support 300 pounds of mass on you at 5'5". Let's muscle too. Like it goes the same thing before that. Like male bodybuilders are pushing their luck in that too. Like they need CPAP machines to sleep. There's so many things. So it's like you cannot say I am healthy because I can do certain activities. No,
I don't think that's
that's
what you should be going off of to depict whether you're healthy or not. That's not a good indicator. That
a
doesn't
walk.
that's not mapping. Like that just genuinely does not make any sense.
Oh,
Just
I
because
don't think anybody should be coming up to
you
you
can go
and
for a walk
telling
and
you
still be you can go for a walk and still be fat and too fat for your own health. So
exactly. Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's
I
another
don't.
story. That's why we're here. We are unfiltered. So
Exactly. And I still don't think like this is like we're not here telling you this because we think somebody has the right to come tell you like, hey, like I don't think you're healthy. No, that's awful and nobody should be doing that. But if we're gonna have the open conversation, you have to also be okay with understanding the facts as well. And it's not a hateful message, it's truly just a one and done, like, hey, your body's not meant to be 300 pounds, and that's okay, and you are fat, and that's not, and I think people have turned the word fat into a very negative thing, and it's
very
just like
derogatory term.
it's not derogatory. If you are fat, you are fat. If you're skinny, you are skinny. It's just what my eyes see.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
honestly it's all neutral terminology. And
100%.
yeah, I don't think it's any more derogatory to refer to yourself or somebody as fat versus skinny. You know, you are what you are, and at the end of the day, your health is like the utmost importance. And obviously, like I say, all of this with love and never with any derogatory meaning behind it whatsoever. But
Mhm.
yeah, back to like to wrap this up, back to the body positivity thing. I don't think that we should be using that as an excuse to let yourself live in an unhealthy body and one where you lack confidence and genuinely are not happy and unable to, keep up with your kids and run around and live life to the fullest.
Also, let's all remember that I don't think this is like public knowledge, but like if you really look at the body positivity movement, it was first created to include everybody, as in people with disabilities, people with this, like you know what I mean? So it was originally made for inclusivity rather than, what is the word? Representation for not sorry, not representation, an excuse for somebody to, possibly pass away because people do die from obesity. Like people do have heart attacks or this. So it was not built for something like that. It's built for everybody to feel good about themselves and also for those who literally also cannot move.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly, exactly. Very well said. Very well said. Just to close this up, have you ever received like any body image advice that actually helped you? Have you received any advice that made things worse? Like, how would you feel? How, what would you say bodybuilding has done in terms of like body image for you? Have you like gone through phases of struggling? Just, yeah, I just want to talk about it because I know that like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people listening to this probably have gone through phases or are going through phases of struggling with body image.
100%. Yeah, I've gone horrible advice like before, and I've gone really good ones, and the good ones are, they really kind of help you not just cope, but change your mindset, such as, in the off season, yes, you're worried about what you look like, but progress is made there. Like that's the biggest one. Like you have to understand that you cannot get back on stage looking the same. So you have to change something in that, which is learning to be uncomfortable. That's the best advice I've ever gotten. Is learning to be uncomfortable. And every stage is uncomfortable, yes, but let's all be honest. Our biggest or bigger is where we're the most uncomfortable. So that was the best one. And bodybuilding in general, yes, has actually heavily protected me from skinny culture because I don't ever sit here and think like, dang, like I wish I was skinnier. I'm sitting here saying, dang, why are my leg genetics so shocked that I cannot put on mass on them? So it obviously has changed it, and I'm really, really glad. And I did struggle in the past, not with being my smallest, but instead with the complete opposite of I was getting bigger and bigger, where I did build a binge eating issue, which we did address on here. But to get out of that, I learned which a lot of people do, have awareness of, which is the all in. You know what I mean? I had to let it happen. I couldn't keep fighting it because it was just then it was starting to get to the maybe I want to be smaller, but all in. And I got big. I got big. I had to let my body tell me I'm done eating, and it worked. So that was my rapid fire of that.
I love that. And
Mhm.
something that I do want to remind everybody of is that in order for positive change to occur, you need to be uncomfortable. Not
Exactly.
like you need to step out of your comfort zone and get uncomfortable a little bit in order to see positive change and growth occur. So whether that be, you're just starting your fitness journey and you want to lose a little bit of weight, you want to be lean and toned, whatever you want to call it, yeah, you're gonna have to get uncomfortable. Whether you're moving, even just like in general life, generally speaking, like if you're moving cities, like that's going to be uncomfortable. Is it going to bring positive change? Yeah, probably. If you're a bodybuilder, competitor going into your off season, yeah, you have to get uncomfortable. If you're
Mhm.
prepping, you're going to be uncomfortable, and all of it's going to bring like positive change in one way or another. So, yeah, I love that you said that.
Mhm.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Bodybuilding honestly saved me from becoming the skinniest, smallest version of myself and has brought so much growth and like changed the entire trajectory of my life. Yeah, a lot of people will say, oh, bodybuilders are so restrictive. Honestly, learning how to track my macros and like following a meal plan, like I love it. I love the mundaneness of it. I love being
100%.
disciplined because if you're disciplined in one area of your life, you're going to be disciplined in all areas
Mhm.
of your life. And so yeah, bodybuilding's given me a lot of skill and changed my mindset a lot that has helped me in all areas of my life. So I agree with you
100%.
as well, completely on
I
that.
have I have one question for you. Sorry. Lastly, before we close it off, give us one body trend from the past that you're glad it's gone.
Well, I don't know if I can think of any body trends that are from the past that like are gone now
Mm.
because
I at least we don't see it as often, I would say, because yeah, nothing is really gone, but like something that you've seen like a down, like it's calmed down basically.
okay, well, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, what I am really happy to see is bodybuilders, especially those with bigger platforms and audiences, promoting our off-season bodies being normal.
Normal.
Yeah, yeah. I am very, very happy to see that because the more we promote that and the more people talk about it, the more accepting we're going to be of our bodies with more body fat on them.
Exactly.
Like,
I like that.
we all love being super shredded in a bikini, of course, but we also still look hot and freaking amazing in a bikini with more muscle, more curvature, more body fat. Like being skin to the bone is not healthy. And honestly, I think it's harder when you have a big butt, when you have more curves to you. Am I
Thank
saying
you.
like gain an excess of body fat? No. But having body fat on you and still looking muscular, like you can still look lean and have body fat on you. And yeah, that off-season body is what is normal and what is healthy and what is
Mhm.
sustainable long term. So I am really glad to see that, the trend of like only hyping up being stage lean and only focusing and loving a super shredded lean body is like going out and off-season bodies are coming in.
T. I like that. Yeah. Mine's not as impressive as yours. Damn. Mine was just a little stickler, but thigh gaps. Thank you.
I
I'm
got,
glad that they're
oh
gone.
my God. No, I forgot that
Glad.
that was even a thing. Thank God.
Oh.
Thank God that's gone. I hope that that does not make a comeback with this skinny culture because yeah. Oh my God. I remember even saying like, oh, I want a thigh gap. Like literally.
When I have a thigh gap in prep, I get anxiety. I get
No,
anxiety.
you know what I hate is like when you lack body fat on your knees and then you're like laying in bed and your knees like rub makes me want to vomit.
It's so bad. And when you wear leggings deep in prep, literally you have a thigh gap, and it's just revolting. I can't stand it because I want such big legs that they connect. I want it to connect,
I want
but
them also like puzzle pieces. So like
exactly like my adductors to be touching. So I'm glad that that's gone. Oh my gosh! Like I think
thank
like
God.
the thigh gap was just such a evil thing to send
And
out.
it was like you were never skinny enough until you had a thigh gap. And that was like the major indicator that like you've won. If you finally got that thigh gap, you're like, yes, I made it.
Which low key, they knew what they were doing because as like women, we carry like genetically, we carry a lot of body fat in our legs, right? Like hormonally too. So it's like they knew exactly like what to shoot for that was insane, and that is your goddamn legs.
Yeah, get that out of here.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
One
yeah.
other thing that I just thought of that you since you mentioned the thigh gap, also that I feel like is kind of less in now than it used to be is having like a shredded six pack. Like go like you've achieved
Yeah.
status when you have like a ripped six pack, and the reason that I'm glad that this isn't like as trending anymore is because like truly it comes down to genetics. Like I don't even ever have a ripped six pack even when I'm
It's
like
not cute. It's
yeah.
not cute. When I had abs in prep, literally like it makes your belly button literally inverted. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, imagine like being like 15, like weighing a six pack. That is absolutely insane because abs take so like genetically, first of all, like some people can have like just veins on their like midsection like lean, but just like your body having the ab muscles is very different. But at the same time, like I think like in regular clothes, I kind of looked funny. It kind of looked funny
Hmm.
with an inverted belly button
Yep.
because there was no skin there.
It honestly having a ripped six pack just gives like male beach model like beach.
Washboard abs.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Like yeah, that's thank God that
that's
that
about it.
is, is gone. But anyways, guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in. Another episode here. I hope that this gave you a little reminder that
Yeah,
small the smallest version of yourself is not the best version of yourself.
exactly.
And you know what? These body ideals are just trends and like, phases that change every single, I was going to say every single decade, but honestly, like every few
Every
years or
single
so.
day.
Yeah,
Because every single day there's some new
it really
bullshit every
just
single
depends
day.
what the algorithm chooses to show you on any given day. But yeah, your body's worth is not determined by whether it fits the so-called like current trend. What's most important is that you feel confident and you are healthy in
Yes. Health is wealth. Health
health
is wealth.
is wealth. Remember, food is fuel. Eat more, not less. And if anyone listening to this is struggling with their body image or relationship with food, then please reach out to us. Reach out to someone who you feel comfortable talking to, a professional,
Hmm.
whoever it may be, and get that support. You're not alone. And I can guarantee you that a lot of people are going through similar struggles as well. So, yeah, please do not feel like you're going through it alone or have to go through it alone.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thanks
But
for
yeah,
tuning in again, guys. And let
thank
me
you.
know your comments or your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, we'll chat to you in the next one. See you later. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye.